Remember those 4 years of your life where everything was awkward and miserable and you were in love with a really hot guy but he was in love with you back? Well, they made a couple of movies about him.
We're the best. We have fun, we work hard, and we win national championships.
Yes! Bring it on!
Oh gosh, this movie was so good. I love Bring It On.
Oh, I love Bring It On.
I love
Bring It On. Cute. I'm popular to boot.
I'm bitchin', great hair. The boys all love to stare.
Hey, Nikki, up the fun, you blow my mind. Hey, Nikki. Hey, Nikki.
I'm sorry, I made it weird.
Like,
Everything.
talk about girl power.
Girl power.
Dancing, music.
Music.
And like, I feel like even if you didn't ever cheerlead, this movie was enough to make you want to do it.
Who am I? Just guess. Guys wanna touch my chest. I'm preppy. I smile. And anything I'm vile.
So in high school movies, normally they pit like the popular girls against, the not popular girls. They had a real reason to be mad at them. They were stealing their cheers, but at the end of the day, they were happy. They became friends at the end. I love that about this movie.
This movie is an iconic high school movie that everybody loves. It comes on the television and you always watch it. You never opt out of Bring It On.
It's true, it's true. And if anyone says it's cold in here,
Brr, it's cold in here. There
must be some toros in the atmosphere. I said,
oh, ice, ice, ice. Here we go.
I love the part when the friend's like, you just been touched by an angel, girl.
You've been touched by an angel, girl.
These are spirit fingers. These are spirit fingers.
These are spirit fingers.
Gabrielle Union was kind of a bitch in this though. Like, I get it, they've stolen from you repeatedly, but you ain't got to be such an angry black woman, because you're like literally a stereotype in this. I appreciate your work, but no.
There must be some toros in the atmosphere. Oh no, it just proves the movie's point.
oh my God, we are Bring It On just now.
We're totally Bring It
That was
On.
Bring It On in 1 minute.
It is.
Your house is really nice.
I know, right?
Being with the plastics was like leaving the actual world.
Mean Girls.
Come on.
I loved Mean Girls. I was such a fan of this movie.
What I loved most about this movie is that going into it, I had zero expectations.
I agree, it wasn't hyped up too much.
Exactly, and then you left and it was your new favorite movie.
I literally still watch Mean Girls.
Yes.
At least like 3 times a month because it's
You just asked me that yesterday.
I know.
Back when Lindsay Lohan was at the peak
She was the queen.
of everything.
And I feel like now if they make a high school movie, it's all about like social media and let's include Twitter and blah, blah, blah. This just stood on its own. You didn't need social media, but if you watch it now, you're not like, why aren't they on their phones? Like, it's still this.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
It doesn't need technology. It stands the test of time.
This was like
yeah,
the
separate.
most far-fetched, I think, but it is also one of the most entertaining movies ever.
I think I liked it so much because it was like a fantasy of high school. Like, it wasn't very real. Nobody in high school is that put together on a daily basis. Nobody in high school is that mean. All like the cliques were very exaggerated, and that just didn't happen in real school. Real school was just like, you go to class, have an anxiety attack, go home, have an anxiety attack, rinse and repeat.
And it's the most quotable movie in the entire world.
Best part, I literally peed on myself in the movie theater. She's like, I had a lot of friends in Africa. She goes up to the black people. She's like, Jumbo. And they're like, what?
Boy, it's been a long time since we've had a little father-son chat.
Oh my God. American Pie.
Classic American Pie.
This was probably like one of the first very inappropriate films I saw other than like what I Googled online.
I wasn't allowed to watch this movie because of that scene. You know what I'm talking about.
The one with the pie?
With the pie?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I wasn't allowed to watch this movie, but I did anyways, because I was not having sex in high school, so I was watching movies my mom didn't want me to watch.
My buddy growing up, Jamal, he had one of those TVs where you could do the small box and the big box, and every time I went to his house, we used to put Nickelodeon on the big box and watch American Pie on the small box just to see some boobs.
Okay, I remember when this movie coming out, me being like disgusted by how gross this movie was.
Really?
Yeah, and now it's like, this is like the most tame thing that would ever come out in theaters. I was like, ew, that's so gross.
But also the sock thing, I didn't get it, but I actually one time I watched it with like my little cousin, and he turned to me and was like, what is he doing with the sock? And I had no idea, so I just made something up, and I was like, well, sometimes when you get excited, you just gotta put a sock on your penis. So later we were watching the movie and he taps me and I turn next to him and he had a sock on his penis. True story, like totally true story. Yeah.
Grease lightning!
I got chills. That's the first thing I think of, that song. You're the one that I want. Ooh, ooh. I need to stop singing it, sorry.
Aw, Grease.
This is like old school. I feel like this is way before our time.
Yes, Grease is a childhood favorite because this is old as hell, ain't it?
My mom would always talk about Grease. Like, this was her high school jam. And John Travolta was so
hot.
I remember he would do that like strut, like he had that walk. It was like the first time we ever saw real swagger.
Yeah, right?
So my theater teacher never let us do this show because they thought the message was bad, that she changes herself for a man. I mean, she looks hot at the end.
She looks way freaking hot at the end.
You're the one that I want. You are the one I want.
Honey, so good.
There's a higher power that will judge you for your indecency.
Tom Cruise.
Easy A!
Easy A. Have you seen Easy A?
No. This was a cute movie. I remember this was like the first introduction for me to webcams. She went live on a webcam and I was like, oh, this could be a career.
It's Emma Stone. They think she like had sex, but she didn't.
Right.
So she becomes like this girl that nerdy guys go to get a good reputation.
That's
and
right.
in turn, she gets labeled a whore.
I remember watching this. It gave me extreme anxiety because it's like everybody looked at her one way and it's like, but no, she's actually not doing that. It gave me really bad anxiety.
She owned it. It is so good.
Because I went to an all-girls high school and I wanted everybody to think that I was cool and I had a boyfriend, I invented one named Garrett Powell, which now the world knows it's not, he didn't exist. But the point is, it was a fictitious, experience, kind of like her sexual life in this film.
I used to lie about having sex in high school. I did not have sex in high school, and I told everybody I did to fit in. Emma Stone, we have so much in common.
But the best part about this movie, I will say, are her parents. Her parents in this movie are, I kid you not, what every high schooler in the entire world wishes
they were.
their parents were like.
Amber, my plastic surgeon doesn't want me doing any activity where balls fly at my nose.
Well, there goes your social life.
How could I not have seen Clueless? This is my girl. Hey, Cher, what's going on? That's not my girl, Stacey Dash, but that's now, not in the movie. Like, anyway, that's a whole other thing.
Oh, God! Okay, I literally just watched Clueless. Okay, so when I was a senior in high school, I played Cher in like a live adaptation of
and who do
Clueless.
you think I played?
Dion.
Duh. I love Clueless. It was the first movie that made me want a stepbrother to make out with.
Do you remember the furry pens?
Yes!
We used to make the furry pens just like them.
And we thought we were like the coolest girls in school because you signed your papers with your pens.
Clueless was the best. And it was like, baby Paul Rudd, remember? And I swear he's wearing eyeliner like that whole movie, but I totally forgive him because I just don't think they knew how to do makeup back then. Cher was like who you wanted to be.
Yes, that fashion.
She was so rich.
Everything she wore, and I love.
She had so much money.
Everything about this movie was
And
so
she was so
rich.
rich.
It was so.
Clueless you've never seen,
You're
and
gonna-
it's making me question our friendship.
I've seen bits and pieces, and
No, you don't see bits and pieces of Clueless. You watch the entire thing, it's an entirety.
I've only walked in on people halfway through. Like I missed when everyone watched it.
You just
the
made it
first
sound like
time.
you're like walking in on people hooking up. No, you walk into them watching Clueless, you go, sorry, I'll come back later.
Okay, I'm gonna watch this tonight. I mean,
Good.
the poster itself makes me feel like I am missing out.
My favorite part of the movie, which I always wanted in high school, is the computerized thing that she had to pick out her outfits in the morning. She like skimmed through the clothes and like put the outfit together. We're like, man, I wish I had one of those.
Yeah, they were really reaching for that like 20 years ago because we still don't even have that technology.
That's true.
Also, what about that car?
Oh, her Jeep. Yes, that she couldn't even drive, by the way.
She was like the worst.
She was
like,
really bad
Like
driver.
a monkey could have driven better than her. That's why we love her. She's so relatable.
She kissed me. Where? In the car.
10 things I hate about you.
10 things I hate about you. See, I knew this was on this list because you know what? It's one of the greatest high school movies in the entire world.
Good. Oh my God, this is my favorite movie, like, of all time. Where do you even begin?
Okay, well, let's start
Okay.
with Heath Ledger. May he rest in peace.
Oh, yes.
This is the movie that literally made me so obsessed with Heath Ledger, and it's all because of that bleacher scene. I love you, babe. And he was doing that like nerdy dance. He just loved her so much, and the whole school wanted to know. And like, that's what you wanted in high school. You wanted someone to like give you
that, exactly. I watched this movie literally 3 times in a row one time when my babysitter was watching me, and she, I think, quit the next day. She's like, I can't take any more 10 things I hate about you. I hate it when you talk to me. I hate it when you stare. I hate it when you're not around. I hate it when you're there. I hate your big dumb combat boots and the way you make me cry. But most of all, I hate the way I don't hate you. Not even close. Not even a little bit. Not even at all.
A brain, a beauty, a jock, a rebel, and a recluse.
Hey, 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 hey! Don't you come see about me. Won't you come see about me?
The classic high school movie.
I never wanted to go to detention more than I did after I saw this film.
The Breakfast Club's amazing.
I mean, it's bringing all different types of people into one room, and it really shows the evolution of people's relationships.
Oh, so deep. There's the stoner, the nerd, the princess, the jock, the weirdo.
I was a goody two-shoes.
And this is the Brat Pack. They're icons, they're still icons.
Still.
But in the 1900s, I think the 80s specifically, they were it. Like, this crew was everything.
The 80s, that was the era of the teen film. Like, we were way too young to be watching teen movies in the 80s.
But I watch all of them now, like 16 Candles.
Ferris Bueller.
Oh, Ferris Bueller.
Bueller, yes.
Oh, Ferris Bueller, there it is!
Oh yeah, Ferris Bueller! Oh.
Incredible movie. Incredible movie. And if anyone tells you that they don't like it, they either haven't seen it or they're lying their face off.
And just how he's able to so successfully trick his parents into thinking he's sick, it's masterfully done.
But I actually enjoyed also how he broke the fourth wall in this movie a couple times.
They do that. I love when they do that.
Yeah.
Ferris Bueller, cool ass movie. But you watching the credits and they're playing all these clips from in the movie, and so you end up watching all the way till the very end. At the end, he come out the bathroom, cut your ass out because you such a loser that you're sitting there to the end of the movie. So it kind of gives you that depressive feeling, but it reminds you to go out and accomplish your own dreams instead of sitting around like a dumbass. Yeah.
Why'd you really come here, Zach?
I forget.
So kiss me.
She's all that.
Tell me you've seen She's All That.
I told you before this episode.
I haven't seen it. You haven't seen this?
No.
Oh, She's All That. I've recently rewatched this, and it never loses its charm. I think it's like a high school movie for every generation.
Oh, I remember Freddie Prinze Jr. in this. Oh, I still have a crush on him. He was your boyfriend.
He was my boyfriend.
Freddie Prinze Jr. in this movie was literally a freaking Disney prince come to life.
This is the epitome of like, oh my god, the nerdy girl with glasses is suddenly hot when you let her hair down and take her glasses off.
Right.
Because that's such a dramatic transformation.
It's like, I wish it was like that. Do you know how much makeup I'm wearing right now? Lots.
This was like in the era of Jennifer Love Hewitt and like Freddie Prinze Jr., remember? It was like the king and queen of pop culture. The only thing I didn't like about this movie is that Freddie Prinze Jr. didn't exist in my high school. Like, that was like a thing I was watching, I was like, oh, do other high schools have Freddie Prinze Jr.'s? No, only Freddie Prinze Jr. There's only one.
We got the rest of our lives to be mediocre, but we have the opportunity to play like gods.
Let's be heroes.
Saw this one time with my boyfriend, so we were making out the whole time, but I can tell you Paul Walker is like, yes!
I think one of the reasons why this movie does stand out is because of how different I grew up from it. Like, I didn't play football. I grew up in a place completely opposite of Texas. So the first time I saw this movie, this is what I thought like every Texas high school was like. By the way, Amy Smart, I had a huge crush on her.
That's the best thing about this movie is that like James Vanderbeek is like the lowly second string quarterback. And apparently in Texas, there's nothing worse than being second string in high school. And then he emerges as the star of the team, and it's just so unrealistic. I love it.
What I remember from this movie is the whipped cream scene.
Doing what with whipped cream? No.
Oh. So there's whipped cream. There's a naked girl. There's whipped cream on the naked girl.
Okay.
That scene was like so famous. Everyone talked about it.
Oh, that's right. And they parodied that in Not Another Teen Movie when the dude had the whipped cream and he turned around. He had banana in his butt.
Back to the Future, one of my top favorite movies of all time.
God! Gotta get back in time. This is all my childhood. This is literally my childhood laid in front of us.
One of the best franchises of all time.
88 miles per hour is the first quote that I think of with that.
And it still holds up. This movie came out like 7,000 years ago, and people are still obsessed with it.
Michael J. Fox, this was the movie that kickstarted his career.
The reason why this movie is so special to me is because my grandparents had a country house growing up, and they had like 7 VHS tapes, and like this was one of it. So like the day I got to the country house, I was watching Back to the Future.
1.21 gigawatts! How can I be so careless? Can't be done! Sorry, I've seen the movie a couple times. Maybe like 1,000? No?
Do you know what I do miss about movies today? Just posters in general. Like these posters are so like explosion in the background, like everybody's just like happy. We don't even have movie posters anymore. Do we?
Yep.
We might, okay.
Nunchuck skills, bow hunting skills, computer hacking skills.
Give me some of your tots, Napoleon. It's incredible. It's one of the most quotable movies of my like high school years.
I have watched this movie so many times. There are just so many classic moments in this movie. The dance scene specifically.
That is a really hard dance to learn, by the way. I tried it. I dressed up as Napoleon Dynamite once. It's really hard. He was really talented and underrated and undervalued.
Napoleon Dynamite, I don't even know how to describe because it kind of came out of left field.
It was so weird and so strange.
And like I feel like I've watched it recently, and I'm still confused by it, but I still enjoy it.
I just like it because I feel like they made being a dork cool. Like they were all nerdy and they were like super weird and it was cool.
But this is like the anti-teen movie because he's like the anti-hero. He is legitimately still the nerdiest looking, weirdest looking person I've ever seen. And he's probably one of my favorite people in the world. Look at the moon boots he rocks the whole time in the movie.
I also think that he brought nerd back.
He did.
I think before this movie, everyone was still segregated and being a nerd wasn't really cool. But after Napoleon came along, everybody wanted to be the nerd.
And I wonder how many people named their kids Pedro after this film.
Oh.
I feel like he's like the male Miranda Sings before Miranda Sings was a thing.
Right, before YouTube.
Yeah.
One of the worst compliments I've ever gotten in my life is that a girl came up to me one time and was like, "You look like the girl from Napoleon Dynamite."
With the ponytail?
Yeah.
I can't remember what she looks like.
And I was
just
like, I
remember
don't
the
think
ponytail.
that's a compliment.
I couldn't believe how something so clean could be so funny, you know? Because I was like 14, so at the time I was thinking like, there's gotta be cursing, like there's gotta be nudity for a movie to be just like, but then we watched this, there's no cursing throughout. It's so clean and it's so ridiculous. And it just proves that like, if it's funny, you know?
You guys, those are just a few of our most memorable, most iconic high school movies.
Yeah, so nostalgic, you guys. Let us know in the comments if you have a high school movie that we missed. That's your favorite.
And of course, they should subscribe.
Oh, duh.
Yeah.
You've already subscribed, right?
Catch an all-new episode of Beauty Trippin' on the left and click right to see actors who were written off of TV shows.